You spent 30 years leading top-level teams in MotoGP. Now you're here to talk about something that might surprise people. A personal artificial intelligence system you built for yourself. Pietro, how did you get there?
I call it AIOS because it's an artificial intelligence operating system. This is my personal operating system, built around how I work. The best analogy, the best one that I thought about that, the one that I know, comes from the racing, from the MotoGP world. You know, in a championship team, you do not have one person doing everything. You have the team leader, you have the crew chief that is coordinating the whole picture with the technicians, with the mechanics. You have the specialized technicians, specialized on the chassis, for example, on the engine, on the electronics, mapping, the data analysts. Everyone has a specific role, and everyone has a structure for the communication. The result is a machine that is operating at the highest level, at the World Championship level. There are specialized agents handling specific tasks, coordinated by a main agent, a supervisor, that is my executive assistant. That is, I call him Martino. And he orchestrates the workflow, the routes, and all the tasks. And he delivers in a decision-ready format all the decisions that they take. It's a decision-ready format, because this is important, you know, because decision-ready, that is the key phrase. I need the right information in the right format at the right moment to make decisions that matters. And you know, the agents handle collection, filtering, synthesis, and at the end, I handle decisions. And this is the fundamental shift. You stop being the operator of that system, and you become the decision maker of the system itself. This is the biggest shift.
Let us get into the specifics of the system. What exactly is AIOS-Pietro? How would you describe it to someone who has never heard of AI agents?
Okay, the model I used as a foundation that is called Phil Stringer, is the founder of this system. And I had the chance to meet him in 2026, the beginning of the year. He showed me that kind of system, and the first thought, as I said before, was like making the analogy with the MotoGP team. This is a framework with one main role, that is the center of is a specialized agent that executes specific tasks when called. Martino, the executive assistant, is the orchestrator, and every morning he sends me the briefing. It collects the information from the other sources, then I monitor, I flag my priorities, and prepares the context I need for the decision of the day.
You mentioned Martino as the executive assistant. Who are the other agents? And how is the whole system structured?
Then there are the specialized agents. One for deep research, when I need, for example, to analyze a market or a competitor or a trend, it goes deep and delivers a complete report. One for the video analysis, to extract strategies and insight from that specific content. Another one, he manages the LinkedIn profile and the LinkedIn content pipeline, basically. Another one for automating repetitive processes on my local system. And the principle is very simple. Every time I identify a recurring task that runs without requiring my critical judgment, I build an agent or automatic workflow around it. This is like a team management applied to an AI system. So they deliver a result. I do not have to complete a task or to spend time, because the target is to save time. We can say it better, to compress the time.
You keep coming back to the mindset shift. This is what I find most compelling about what you are describing. What stops people? What holds them back from making the shift?
just one answer. You know, people stop at the wrong level, basically. When a professional starts using the AI, the first thing they do is ask to write an email, to summarize the document, to organize the documents itself, and to answer the question, you know. It works. It is already useful, for sure, and it works. And they stay right there. It is like having a racing car, Formula One, and using only for the weekend, but just for fun. So the capability is there. The utilization is minimal. The leap that changes everything happens when you stop thinking about what you can ask AI to do. And you start thinking about how to structure a system that works for you while you focus on something else. So you are building an infrastructure now, a complete different game, you know. I saw this pattern many times, you know. The teams that win are the ones who build systems capable of extracting maximum performance from every component in a coordinated way. For example, I remember very well Repsol Honda in MotoGP in their golden years. So our team also, during the Constructor Championship, we won 4 titles. It was always about the system. I have had the privilege to, during my 30 years in MotoGP, to guide for 12 years the same team. I mean, the same people, the same person, exactly the same. And we went through some regulation changes, some different from one era to another one, but we stayed the same. So the capability was there. And that is what I'm applying now to this new scenario.
So you are saying the problem is the mindset, not the technology. Where does your mindset come from? How did you develop it?
Yes, as I was saying, this mindset comes from the privilege I have had to lead the team for 12 years as a technical director, as a team leader. And this thought makes me thinking how to apply this one now. So, 30 years in the World Championship. Those years spent with the same person, the same people, the same team. The best team I've ever had. So when you lead the high efficiency team in motorsport, you learn very fast your value that is not doing the right things at the right moment. Above all, it is creating the conditions for the team to do the right things even when you are not in the room. And that is leverage. I've learned this lesson. You stop working in a linear way and where your output depends on your direct input. So you work in a different way where the system multiplies your decisions. And when I saw the first serious version of the AI agent systems, like what I was saying before from Phil Stringer, I recognized the pattern immediately. Same logic as the paddock, same logic as the racing team. An agent that orchestrates other agents is exactly like a crew chief coordinating specialized technicians. I did not have to build the mindset from zero, you know. I just translate it from a domain I know deeply into a new one. And that is one of the things I've learned. High-performance leadership competencies are specific to no single field. They apply everywhere. Everywhere there is pressure, everywhere there is something, everywhere there is complexity and the needs for result. Performance, result. Everywhere. And they apply wherever there is pressure. And they apply wherever there is a scenario exactly like the racing scenario.
Let us talk about who should build something like this. Is this for everyone, or is there a specific profile that benefits most?
No, the profile that benefits most is the high-level complexity professional. For example, technical directors, senior consultant, professional managing many open fonts at the same time. Someone who handles information, decisions, and relationship at the same time. So, all the operation all at once. and they handle those operations every day. The higher the decision density of your day, the more the system makes sense. Decisions require deep attention, and deep attention requires a mind free from operational noise. Think about the value of your time. If you are a CEO or a senior leader, every hour carries enormous economic and strategic value. Spending 40 or 50 minutes a day collecting information, filtering emails, figuring out what is urgent, that is your most precious asset invested in activities a system handles better. This is the optimal resource allocation, And the same principles, exactly the same principle that in racing decides where to invest your development budget. You go where the return is highest. And for someone starting from zero, the path is more or less the same, but with more small steps at the beginning, for sure. Even without technical skills, you can build something meaningful because the system, the agents, are helping you. Start where you lose the most time. Automate that first, then expand.
Are there risks in this approach? What do you need to watch out for when you build a system like this?
The right question, yes. There are risks. Knowing them is part of building the system well. And the number one is blind delegation. An AI system is powerful and it can make failure at the same time. Just like on the track, The data gives you direction and the final decision is always yours. So the final decision is always human. I've seen teams lose races because they trusted too much the number, They trusted too much the pure number. And the risk was that they stopped listening to the driver, to the rider. AI is a powerful tool for sure, but the human has a central role, always. The last decision is human. The second risk is building the system for the sake of the system. It happens when you fall in love with the technology. I love numbers, I love technology, I love coding. The risk is to lose sight of the result, And every component you add must answer one precise question. Does this bring me more closer to my target? If the answer is not sure, wait. The answer must be yes. Another risk is the input quality, An AI agent works well when you instruct it well. It's like in racing, In MotoGP we say garbage in, garbage out. And when the instruction you gave your system are not so clear, the result is at the same level, not so clear. Clarity of the objectives is always the leader's responsibility. And these risks are arguments for building with intention. Every high-performance system has its critical point, of course. The leader's job is to monitor them.
Is there a specific moment when you realized the system was truly working? A concrete episode?
Yes, for sure. One Monday morning, basically. I had two important commitments that afternoon. A call with a potential client and a working session to complete the project. The project was a bit complex. At 10:15, while I was having breakfast after my morning training, I opened Martino's email, my executive assistant email. And in 40 minutes, I had a complete briefing on both contacts. My weekly priorities automatically organized, based on what I had come up over the weekend. Then, 3 operational decisions already handled. Ones that would manually have taken me 45 minutes, basically. And, most important, a first draft of a document I needed for the following week. By 10:25, I had total clarity of the day. 10 minutes later, I closed everything and went for a walk. But that 40 minutes walk that I spent later after I receive the email from my executive assistant with a clear mind was more productive than 3 hours of operational work and with all the operational tasks. 3 strategic insights I will never have reached with my head focused on email, focused on normal tasks. This is the real point, you know. And the quality of mental space you create, this is the most important thing, you know, is the quality of your mental space. And in that space, the best ideas have room to surface and to grow up.
For everyone listening right now who wants to start building their own system, what is the first concrete step you recommend?
Yes, the first step is a question you ask yourself. Take your last working week and then identify the 3 activities that took the most time and require the least of your critical involvement. Repetitive activities, the collection, management, filtering. Things you do because they need to get done. And at the same time, you are the one doing them by default, because you can do only by yourself. You are the only one to do that. Those 3 activities are your starting point, basically. You do not need to build a complex system right away. You automate the first one, only that. And then you observe what changes in your week. You know, in racing, in MotoGP, you do not arrive at the World Championship in 1 week or in 1 month. You build a foundation, you test, you learn, you adjust, you expand, and the system grows with you. Do not wait until everything is clear before you start. You know, it works differently. You start, you learn in motion, you optimize, you make mistakes for sure, but you learn along the way. Many years in the paddock told me that, and especially many years told me one thing above everything else. Champions are the ones who learn faster from mistakes and get back on track before everyone else. The same principle applies to you. Start now.